Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and I help people navigate through their awakening process. And I got this question the other day, and basically what they were saying is that they want to move forward. They want to go and sort of like referencing some of my recent videos. The general message was like, it's time for a lot of us to move on, to start sharing our gifts with the world, to find our purpose, get out there and help, etc. And this person was like, Vic, I want to, man. I'm ready to do it, but every time I like take even the smallest step forward, I just can't get past these really intense, heavy emotions. And even though I might fight through them for a moment, they always end up weighing me down and kind of sucking me back into my place of stagnation. So I want to sort of address that very I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to it. I know I can. That was me for a very long time. And they were basically a secondary aspect of their question was like, how do I be more positive? How do I think? How do I get past these emotions? So here's what I've learned. I know for a long time I waited for emotional stability and clarity and peace before I did anything. And as a result, I sat and did nothing for many years. So I realized now that's not the right approach. And I also learned that the faster you go forward, especially when you're honing in and dialing in on your true chosen path, the more of your baggage you run into, the more aware you become of what has been holding you down, and the experience of it is as if you actually are, but the confrontation of these extremely heavy emotions, these heavy emotions that stem from core issues sort of stored in your consciousness that now need to be dealt with because you're going forward. In this place of complete unconscious misalignment where we all pretty much stemmed from, they were fine. But now as you're getting more, you're getting glimpses of where you want to go and you're going for it. Now it's like, whoa, you got to deal with all this. And the way you let yourself know about that is by magnifying the emotions, by making them so obvious, so heavy, so in your face, that there's no way to just sort of put them out of your mind and distract yourself. You can't. You have to deal with them. And that's why you're not moving forward, because you got to deal with these emotions. With that said, it's sort of a paradox. It's a process of going forward regardless of how you feel, not having the expectation of always feeling in the flow, expecting to run into aspects of your wounded self along the way, but also giving those wounded aspects of yourself the time of day, acknowledging them. They're just parts of, you could use the analogy of the inner child, your younger self. There are parts of you that are saying, hey, you've basically been ignoring me. I'm here, I'm suffering, I'm a part of you, and you've neglected to heal me, man. So you want to go over there, fine, but it scares the shit out of me, and I'm not fucking going. I'm staying right here until you deal with this shit. But you, the real you, it's kind of a weird schism here. You're like, I want to go forward. Well, you need to heal as you move forward. And it's a constant process of that, stepping forward and dealing with what comes up as you go along. I haven't met anybody yet who's dealt with everything. So for me, the way it goes down is exactly as I said. I'm moving forward very quickly now, faster than ever. But I'm continually running into older, unhealed, and unresolved issues within myself. But I've just become really good and fast at dealing with them and sort of doing these two things simultaneously. Moving forward, dealing. Moving forward, dealing. So just to kind of go with this video, I'm going to share with you something I just read today out of one of the books I'm reading. And it really gives a beautiful technique, actually, for dealing with this wounded aspect of yourself. But it also gives you just a clear idea of what I mean, because it's not the only technique that works. You can hear this and then just come up with your own. It's real simple. It's from a book called Fear. I just got it last night. Oh man, by, I don't know how to pronounce, like Thich Nhat Hanh. He's an enlightened master. You can read 2 sentences of any of his books or hear him talk. He's a real example of someone who lives in oneness. And he's a beautiful, loving human being. It's an amazing book so far. I've read other books of his, but one of the things he says is that he suggests talking to your fear, talking to your wounded self. So what he suggests here in his book, he suggests you use cushions. You could use chairs or any sort of things. We'll just go with his method. Is you have 2 cushions basically. You go and you sit on one cushion and you face the other cushion, and while you're in that one cushion, you basically talk as if you are your little child, your wounded self, and you voice what you think it would have to say. Like for me, I'll use an example. I was hit by a firework. I was very young, it was very tragic, and it screwed me up in a million different ways. Okay, so it would be like, I don't want to get all emotional here. I doubt I will. I'm just going to go with this. Okay? I don't want to like lead myself into a trap here. But it's like, Vic, that hurt extremely bad. Being on fire hurts very, very badly. I'm afraid of being hurt that bad ever again. I now know that pain, that degree of physical pain exists and can happen to you out of left field. You were sitting there just innocently and a freaking firework blasted you. The emotions you felt when you had to live with the scars and the weird shit the doctors made you wear when you went to school at a very vulnerable age, that was awful. You constantly thought that people weren't going to like you, were going to judge you, make fun of you, think you're weird, ask you what the hell's up with the weird pressure garments they used to wear. That was a miserable thing. I suffered every single day in school, man. And the idea you do that and you try to bring up the passion and emotions of that wounded aspect of yourself. It started off kind of weird for me, kind of like, but once I got into it, you saw it, it became real easy for me to do. Now, you're gonna go sit in that other cushion, look back at this, and you're gonna talk to that younger self of yours from your adult perspective. Like, listen, Vic, I know, man, that was rough. I can't imagine going through something like that. And I sympathize with you, but here's the deal. We're older now. We now know how to look out for weird random accidents, and we're pretty smart and have enough life experience to avoid such things. Okay? And you're not a little kid anymore. You have confidence now. You don't have to worry about people judging you because you're not wearing those pressure garments. You have a tattoo over one of your big scars right there. No one even sees them. You're talking to YouTube, people probably didn't even know you had scars. It doesn't matter. It's okay to let that go now. Like that. And what issue do you do that for? You do that, you just do your best to investigate whatever these heavy emotions you're experiencing are. What are they tied to? When did you first feel that way? When did you first feel that dread or that worry or that intense anxiety and fear? Just think about it. When was it you first felt that? Go inside. Become a little meditative. You'll at least have an idea. And that is not a magical process. That's one of 1,000 different ways you can go about it. But that's the idea. I personally put actual action into dealing with these issues with various techniques that I've sort of learned along the way that work for me. And I expect to need to do this frequently, especially the faster I get going. So that's how you get to go forward and move past those heavy emotions by dealing with them and giving them the attention they're longing for. So I hope that helps you guys, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for all the fun comments. It's fun reading what you guys have to say. Some of you are funny. I can tell you put thought into them, and it's a real treat to like see all the nice things you guys say to me. So thank you very much. I wish you all the best. Have an amazing day, and I will speak to you tomorrow.